I don't know what's good.
How's it, man?
Welcome back to town.
Yeah, man. Yes. 2 hours of traveling. I'm so exhausted now.
Well, to our audience, welcome to our first podcast. Good morning, good
How's
evening.
it, guys? How's it? This is your guy, Maji, and I'm with my
Co-host JB Muna.
You see?
So, welcome to the Old Yet New podcast. Our first episode is going to be titled First Timers. So, basically, we're first timers when it comes to the podcast industry.
This is our first time in the game,
The
man.
first child of ours.
Finally, we are here.
Hi.
I never thought we would see this day, man.
I don't
A
know.
month in planning.
I was actually thinking of postponing it.
Me too.
I got
When
scared.
I was in Windback there, and I was trying to hike, and I see like now I'm struggling to get a transport to come to Mokwat.
I was like, I guess maybe we should just change it for another day, you know.
Another day, so that we can have another week to plan again, postpone it, procrastinate, man. Yes.
I mean, it's good. At least we said we're starting, finishing clowns. There's no year.
Finally, we are here, man.
That's
Our
what
first
I'm
baby
looking
steps.
Hopefully, it's baby steps.
It's gonna be a whole lot of jail.
I'm gonna have to edit this thing as well. And I'm scared. I don't know anything about editing. I'm just.
We're gonna learn our way through it, man.
I-
We're gonna learn our way through it.
So to kick off the first thing, Muna, let's start off with. The first time we had alcohol. I'm gonna give you some time to share your first beer or
When
whatever
was
story.
it, man? Yes, yes. I'm a drunkard now. I don't even remember the first time I drink one. I think it was on grade 12 when I was on doing my grade 12.
Grade 12.
Yeah, just around September, man. Because we went to a matric dance, we went to a matric dance. Then afterward, the guys who had alcohol, because most of us were still afraid of the teachers there. So we got there, one of these guys, there's always those people that are not afraid of the teachers. So they brought around a bottle and 24. My first 3 cans, man, I was out. I was like, yo. This thing, when I look so cool when the elders do it, when you do it,
You're on the floor.
yeah, man. Yo, and they're home over the following day, man. Yo,
You don't know what
it
you
was
do. That's the thing.
Something else.
You don't know what you do. You just wake up. You're tired. The room is
And
spinning.
you drink as much as you can because you think,
And you never listen
competing
to
with other guys.
honestly, the people that have drank alcohol and they're like, don't mix the alcohol, and then like,
No.
you don't know me, son. I will drink it. It just give me your bottle as well. We'll finish as far as we can.
And the thing is, when you are starters there, Yanas is bringing this bottle, this one is bringing this. You want to taste all of them because you don't know which one is your stuff.
And most of the time, you don't even mix. You just like bottle. And
And it was Russian beer, man.
you know me with the experience of Russian beer the other day. Huh?
What happened?
We don't speak about it. With my first time, it's easy to remember. We like complexion, as you can see of myself. The whatever that is called, the pigmentation.
Oh, no, you.
I was very young, man. I was very, very young. The lights were popped on for us. It was ready for
I
this.
told
You wanted me for the spotlight
I
now.
told you.
Whenever we went to visit my grandma, and
Yeah.
I was like maybe 7 or 8, she used to have these silver cups. So I was 7 or 8, my brother was 4 years younger than me, so he was, 3? Maybe I was 8 years old, we'll make it 4 and 8.
Yeah.
So we used to take baths together, he on his side, me on my side. I always sat at the tap, because hot and I like
Yeah,
exercise.
it's just next to you.
And then it was always an uncomfortable sit because the prop was underneath my butt. So I remember it like yesterday. We from the bath water. My grandma always gets us like a bubble bath.
Yeah, you know,
All
grandmas
out,
are
all
taking
out,
care of
all
their
out.
kids.
Then she we also used to have these cock toys when it was empty pill bottles.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if my grandma was addicted
So it's
to
the
this
one
shit,
that you
man.
used to.
We used to play with the pill bottles and whatnot, and then the one night we had knocking, we're like, yeah, come on. My grandma comes from the silver glass. It's completely chrome. I'm not sure what it's like a steel glass, whatever. You can never see if there's liquid poured into. You don't know when it's empty.
Oh,
So
yeah.
she used to drink brutal fruit back in the day. She doesn't drink anymore. She matured, let's say.
But you bought that nice bottle of Jack.
That was
Jack Daniels, Johnny Walker, and
Johnny
Black.
Walker Black Label. That was way back when I saw her. She used to drink brutal fruit. And she brought these silver cups and she was like, vroeger wie. Ja, Since then it was hooked, Mona.
Ever since.
Yeah, Mona.
Ever since.
We used to drink so much, or I wouldn't say so much. We used to drink like 2 glasses or something. But I mean, for 8-year-old, when I was part of the
8 years.
8 years.
I
never blacked
Now I
out.
understand why you are a child.
It wasn't full on drinking though. It was just sip there.
Because they cannot see you drinking.
And then my brother took it a step further. That's when my grandma, she used to drink J&B whiskey with soda water.
Yeah.
So she poured the glass full ice on top there. And then my grandma would slip away to the kitchen to make some food, and then you'll just see my brother, then 4-year-old mother truck, this size, takes the glass, downs half of it, sits on the chair.
One time
he just sits there. He doesn't know what's happening, but he's sitting. My grandma's like, what the fuck is he whiskey here? And the other just sits there quiet as a mouse. He just stares at everyone. Eyes red already.
from one glass, half a glass of it.
Do
you get a spanking? Because you know, it was black parents, Muna. 1 minute.
The liver.
You are fine. The next Muna, you are spanking pa. I remember this other day, Muna, me and my little brother were fighting there. Muna, that bloody ass Muna, I get away through the window. Muna, I was the one who was left inside. Muna, yeah, I got a spanking of my lifetime there.
And when you're young and you have kaka, it's something else. Especially the rush you feel from it. Nowadays, I've tried doing shit, but it'll never feel the same as when
never feel the same.
Because you know, if you get caught, yeah.
Deep shit.
On the ass.
So they used to spank you too.
Yeah.
With the belt, the one.
With the belt, shoe. I remember this one time. We used to have these BlackBerry phones.
Yeah.
So my brother had it was like one of the first models that came out. My brother had a purple one with a black edge.
BlackBerries used to be so cool.
Yeah,
when you had one.
And I had a slightly upgraded version from him. I had a black one. Oh, it was the same. I'm not even sure. So he's like, Jonas can hold my phone. And this little ass is lying in bed. When he's lying in bed, like chilling there, like, he's like, gaan haal my phone. So I'm like, alright. I'm there with my 2 chums. We're busy watching movies and whatnot. And then the little shit decides to bother me. So I go and grab the phone. Yes, but I launch it. It hits him on the eye, né? But I don't know what happened that day. The speed I threw that phone, because it hit him in the eye, but it had plastic corners, and that plastic corner like rubbed off on his eye.
You cut him?
No, it rubbed off when I hit the eye, so it was closed the following day. My brother started crying.
You shit.
I knew I wasn't gonna.
The parents were around. No.
I wasn't gonna make it out alive that night. It was my last final night on earth.
You made peace with it.
I made peace, Mona. My mom comes to the room, finds my brother crying there, swearing and whatnot, calls me closer, and then he's like, "What did you net gedoen?" And I threw the phone. I didn't mean to throw it that hard. Hit him in the face.
But it happened.
It happened. So what he did then was, what my mom then did was, she told me to go to the bathroom. I had a jean on. She wanted me to have a jean on. She took the belt off. I was in my undies.
So
I was shaking like this.
Did you tell me to remove the jean?
I was butt ass naked.
What's funny?
She took off my belt.
Hey man, I'm black, but my belt when I'm hit with the belt turns colors. I'm already imagining yours now.
I can almost say I'm black from the waist down at my backside, Mona. I'm mixed race at this current stage at my back. Yo.
Yeah, man. Oh, this other time, man. Yeah. At school there, I was attending a choir, so during the recess, I didn't attend it because we were busy playing soccer. The teachers beat us so bad, man. Yo, my ass was maroon. Navy. I get a man black. It doesn't turn red. It was navy, maroon. Yes.
You basically.
I only got 4 spankings, man. 4.
You basically had the school colors printed on the back.
Yes,
So now on to the next question for the first time. I think. When was the first time you had pot, Mona?
Had?
Pot. Yeah.
Hey man, it was. And I thought it was not as effective because the first time I had it was a lot of friends around because we were just passing one blunt. I was like, nothing. I only got a headache, man. The first time, I only got a headache. And we all walked around campus. We drink a lot of.
Oh, so it was in campus?
Yeah, it was on campus. You know, at varsity, man, is where you experience things for the first time,
Yeah.
most of us.
So,
He was there by my aunt, yeah, my grandmother. Yo. He doesn't even want to see you holding a cigarette. Imagine holding weed, man.
I was a bit more on the luckier stage. I had my first hit with my mom.
Oh,
My
man.
mom, yeah, she bought weed. And,
So cool.
And she was like,
So cool.
I don't know, my mom was the shit back in the day when she was younger. She used to roll up and bark when she was in the army, and then while she was in the army.
So you smoked the whole blunt with your mother? Or
Yeah.
he just gave you a few puffs?
No, we shared one, and then the laughter started hitting me. She was just like, be
Why does
careful.
everything sound fun when
I
you're
don't know.
around?
She was just like, take the pull, and I was like, okay. And then I started coughing when I died. I died that day. I was reborn into a stoner when
Your eyes turning red.
when I started laughing uncontrollably. I just called my girlfriend at the time and I was like, hello. And I couldn't stop laughing. She was like, what's wrong? I'm like, nah, it's just fun, You're like, what's fun? I'm like, if only you knew.
You don't know.
You don't know.
I'm up there with the clouds right now.
I'm up there when I
Yeah, but this other time we smoked it through the argument. My girlfriend also calls me and she told me this story about this fat lady. They were traveling with Intercape. You see those big buses?
Yeah.
They were traveling with Intercape. This lady was so fat she couldn't go in, man. So the driver and other passengers had to push her inside.
Inside of the door.
Yeah, but the funny part, she told me when they were stopping at a stop station to get some snacks and drinks. You know, when you're traveling long distance, you have to stop somewhere to get something to eat. She says she was the only one who was left behind because they don't want that effort of going outside. They had to crowd, and I was high when she told me that story. But I laughed until my jaws were so painful, man.
One of my outermost stoner, or when I got I don't think it's the highest I've ever gotten, but it's the most powerful weed I've ever smoked. It wasn't that long ago. It was last year, I think.
Is that those
No,
cakes that you ate in
No. No, that was okay. I think that was the all-time highest I've ever been. I think that was the strongest thing I've ever had. But weed itself, smoking it.
Oh.
We had this one guy stay over the house because it was the matric farewell the following day. So if someone slept that night, or the matric farewell night, he slept at my house, and then the following day he went with his dad back home. He stays in the Sutu.
Yeah.
So he brings weed and he's a proper smoker. So he brings weed, brings the rolling paper. He's sorting that guy's professional. I'm just and no. Because I was still a beginner smoker at that stage. I knew how to roll a blunt. It was
I still don't know how to roll a blunt even now.
And then he makes weed and what. And so, as you know, there's one guy we have. His name is David.
Yeah.
Audience, I promise you, I will introduce David one day. He's a
When he's
coconut.
gonna join
He's
us,
a coconut. He's dark on us, but inside he's a white man.
He's Afrikaans, man.
So he speaks better than me, Muna. So
Yeah.
he came. And I think it was the first time David ever had proper weed. So we passed the joints around the table and he just took 2 puffs. I only
You
remember...
already had experience before him.
Yes. No, David hasn't had weed before that. So he takes 2 puffs. I can time it like... And then he just like... He sits for like 2 minutes. And he's like, yeah, this is gone. Eyes turn bloodshot. I'm sitting there passing the stogie when I was just hitting, and the bed was just, he turned quiet for the first time in his entire life. He was quiet.
Those 2 puffs are
Gone.
no ones that he had.
So my brother comes out of his room, and we get him stoned as well. All of us are smoking. The bed is just sitting there. Gone. Gone. So when Munchies, I don't know how, but he set in immediately with me and whatever. We ran to the kitchen, we started eating, and we heard water falling. I thought it was rain for some reason.
Because your senses are so enhanced.
So-
After having a blunt.
So I'm like, Jan is 3. And he's like, nee, you check out the window, highest can be. There's no rain outside. So I walk, it's most, I should the house most, it's that passage, the kitchen, and then you go, and then it's the living room.
Yeah.
So when I turn to like this, I see the vet standing there.
From those 2 puffs only.
He started vomiting. He vomited from 2 puffs.
Where did you get it from, that one?
I don't know, Mona.
The location, or you bought it in town?
I don't know. It was just he was gone. The table, Mona, the chair, the floor, the following guys sitting next to him, that chair.
No alcohol, nothing, just
Mona.
those 2 puffs.
Vomited, wow, everywhere. And I'm like the
And
vet.
you almost killed the
I did
dog.
inside. I was like the vet. You gotta clean it out. Please don't take me for that, Mona. I love you and I appreciate it. You gotta clean that shit up. You didn't give him score plat and what mops. And he has a hidden talent. Not many players or people possess, I think. He stands, starts to vomit. From like 7 meters at least away from the door. He vomits so far, he goes out of the door. He's like, oh, while he runs outside. No drop on the floor. The sheer velocity it went out was straight out of the door, and he ran like Godzilla out of the door, exploding everywhere. Yo! Same happened when we had alcohol. We drank. I told the vet we're gonna have a trial by Watchmore. I don't even remember what the name was. I bought him a bottle of Marcador, so it's a coffee flavored liqueur.
Yeah, but that one was powerful. I've never smoked weed to the point that I even vomit. Alcohol, yes.
Yeah, but alcohol is easy.
Alcohol
2 bottles and you're like,
alcohol.
you're like me like that day with that Russian, we're just sitting down. I just have to feel cold. I was just sitting there.
Oh, man, they almost killed you, resented
Yeah.
you. Yeah, but you didn't even have so many glasses, man. I think you had 3.
I had the bottle.
And you had a
Remember,
shot.
no, I take shots, man. Kakisho was gonna give it to me in whatchamacallit, ne? In the prop, and I was like, no, give me the bottle.
Yeah,
And I took the bottle.
yeah.
Then she
That's
gave
where
me
things went south.
And it was the first thing I took. So she threw in, a cranberry juice in
Yeah, inside it.
But
But only this beat went up.
this was a cranberry juice, man. I'm sure of it, and the rest was Russian beer. And then I drank it and I downed because I hate the taste of vodka.
And imagine after 8 months, you said, oh, no,
Yeah,
so
8 months, and I only had 1 packet of noodles for lunch. And that noodles was in my beard the rest of the night.
That's why you cut your beard. You know what? That's funny. You hit your first vomit again in the yard. We move through the gate. You hit your second one. I'm going there.
But remember, I ran to the church side and I threw up again.
Yeah, no. Before you arrived at the church,
But
halfway the road,
Can I tell you
you
something?
hit again.
I know, I remember that. You know why I vomited at the church? It's a funny story as well. It's the first time I snuck out of the house, man. Now, all of my endeavors that I've ever experienced, I've never been caught once. That's the bonus, at least. I've never been caught once. So it was a Cheetahs game that night and they won, and me and my grandma, we bought each other a quart. I was like 16.
Oh, you're watching at your place?
Yes, and I had drinking experience before that. So I finished the court. Then that night it was like past 1. My friend calls me up. He's like, Hannes, you're nog wakker. And I'm like, he's drunk. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you want to sneak out? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. That guy with his big ass mouth was like, Hannes, across the street from where I'm to my
When
home.
you're coming back home?
No, while he's coming to my house, I'm like, Buddha, shut up.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, sorry, I didn't know you guys were sleeping. I'm like, yeah, of course, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. So we only had water, KBV brandewyn. We went to the church when we drank, and he vomited at the church.
So you at the church?
We drank at the church, we were sitting there.
Where were you sitting? Outside too.
Outside, you're not, I'm not in the church.
And when me and my friend went, that friend of mine was working as a security guard at the church there. Because the church is here, it's the same yard as the school. So
You somehow went inside of the church.
that guy is crazy. We are all already drinking inside the yard of the church, man. That guy wants us to take the beers and put them in the refrigerator inside there. And they're put in there.
Jesus doesn't love you
I
guys.
mean, they're put in there. I mean, the wine or whatever they used to drink that.
The Holy Communion
Yeah,
stuff.
man. That's why they put the wine for the church. That guy is crazy. He wants us to take our beers and put it inside the refrigerator. You're going to hell. And I said, there's no way. And when you are one of the church guys that are there holding positions in churches.
It's always the case. It's always the case. It's the same with an Afrikaans have this saying, you won't find anyone naughtier than daughters or children. And I know that. When not to name any names, but
I was already skeptical about going inside the yard. Imagine taking our booze and going to put inside.
I'm putting inside in the fridge.
Because we could go inside the yard because his posse was there.
Mm.
The way he sleeps, because he has to be around the yard all the time. If something happens, I wonder what is that guy going to do? Is this show? Another guy is a security guard. Is this show, man? He's guiding a church and a school at the same time. He just got the position through those, or his mother or somebody in the church, or let's give him something to do.
Okay.
I was like, no, man. The best time you don't know him. You don't care.
She was probably
You
like,
guide over the night.
the mother was probably like, God, you gave me my son, let me give you services in return. Protect
Yeah,
the Lord's house.
And I mean, I'm telling you, man, the party that we used to host in that yard.
In the church?
No, at this place, again, his boss is there around the yard inside the church. inside the yard of the church. His spouse is there, the church is here, the school is here. But the party is man. Things we did there, I'm telling you now, I know for sure I'm not going to heaven. Man. I know, definitely. Remember, we used to pull ladies. A lot, remember. I think, was it when the COVID started? No, the second year of COVID.
Which year of COVID are we in now?
I don't even remember it feeling so.
Third.
Yeah. Yeah, 2021.
I was 2019 it started.
2020.
2019 when we only got it affected 2020. It's COVID-19 for a reason, was it? They were 1 year too late with South Africa.
Yeah, man, the parties we used to throw in that place, man. And it's a shag, you know. It's a shag. We used to connect the system, the sound system. The sound system that they used to pay for in front there.
Yeah.
When you take that sound system, man, they use speaker like this, man. You take it to this place there, pump the music. And our fear is, what if the pastor decide to come and pray? Because they usually pray around 9 and 10 without letting him know. Surprisingly, so yeah, man.
You guys were gonna get arrested.
Yeah, man.
So, have you had any first-time experience with almost getting arrested?
Yeah. Drink and drive. Hey, public drinking. Public drinking. And I give them my wrong ID. And this other officer walks in and I tells them, no, I don't trust these guys. They must give us their ID number and we check it on the system. Oh, when I was checking there. Yes, it's because you see this road that goes into the location here in Makwat. Imagine drinking a beer walking from there to town. So they feel like you are disrespecting them because if they catch you inside the location there somewhere, not on the main road, they caught me there.
So it was public drinking, man.
Yeah.
Drinking in public. And
they take me to town because we were going to town to withdraw somebody so that we can go to drink. Because the place we drink at, he didn't have the cash so that we can swipe it. So he decided to go and withdraw the cash.
Oh, you
holding a beer like
you paid cold drink.
No, man.
You got free.
And when I got into the police station, that's why I gave them the wrong ID number. When I was so scared. And when that guy, when he told them that they should search on the system whether we give them the right IDs. Okay. So I survived because there was, when you are drunk, there's always those guys who are drunk at the police station. They talk too much. So they diverted attention to it. Because that guy was telling them to say they wanted to beat that guy. So they forgot about us because they can see this one side. So we are like this is my first time in jail. That guy is talking rubbish there. They said we're not gonna beat you up then they leave us alone.
So we must say, if you are watching this, if you are part of the audience, the guy that got kicked out of jail that day. Props to you. That one at least and
imagine I wouldn't have got my job because I could have had a criminal record just for public drinking.
The only thing I've ever had that was closest to police anything was, when COVID started, we had what were those things called? It was New Year's Eve this year. We had the curfews.
Yeah, curfews.
So my neighbor across the street was having a party.
So you attended the party?
Of course I did, Muna. What do you think? It was chicks. They were drunk. Why am I gonna say no? So my brother and them were spying on me from across the road, and then the police stopped my brother and them. Meantime, I was already there getting drunk as can be. They had a swimming pool, I died.
So they stopped your brother?
They stopped around. The thing is, it was just outside of my yard. I'm like, what are you guys doing? I was like, I'm in my yard most of the
What's this, I was
like, but don't go up there. I was like, of course I'm not out of my yard yet. I'm not even on the streets, Anya. I'm a police officer in South Africa. When they want to, they have no chill.
Hey, Mona.
They mustn't come with the American nonsense now.
They say you will say they are useless until they are looking for you, man. You will say they are useless until it's your turn or shit. I mean, shit.
Yeah. So now next question.
No, you.
First time fight.
Yeah, but I only fought with my cousin, I never fought with the rest.
Was it the cousin that I know?
No, not this one. This one I met when I went to varsity in Mafike in 2013. The one that I grew with my grandfather is says, when I used to fight. That's why I'm telling you when I got beaten because that guy we were fighting. So that guy got away through the wind.
So you physically, you black something. You were like...
I used to, I tell him to tell one. I used to black something. I used to black something. But that guy, do you know Tubila? You use a stick and clay there, you put that clay on there and you hit like this.
In Afrikaans we call it clay, like.
Yeah! I hit him with it. Before the fight, that's how the fight started. And he's playing early like this, marbles. He's playing like this. When you're playing like this, you know your S is out here.
Always the plumber crack.
The plumber crack is out here. But I don't know how was my ammo now. Yo, I was so accurate. I said, whoop. That thing went straight here.
Oh.
And he was like, yeah. From there, he went up and hit me.
Double black and
And when I hit me loud, because that thing was so painful, man. It was not scary. I'm telling you, he hit loud. Yeah, man, black him. Yeah. And I had this auntie of mine, when she was like around 30 that time, man, she was so fast, man. She caught us, man.
And then she
Because I think we are busy fighting.
holding each other.
I'm holding him like this.
When I'm Muscot.
Yeah, but I had a colleague got me here. This guy tried to get away. They caught him.
Yeah.
They take us to the room. Because my grandmother has to look for the belt or something he's going to hit us with. This man parachuting, I see the window. I don't see the window, man.
It jumps.
Here! Well, just when my grandmother walks in, that guy jumps through a window. I mean, I got beaten alone there when I was beaten. I was beaten, I cried. She still hits me. Until I lay there, I cannot I'm crying as much as I can now, yeah. So your first fight, no? Was that one where you passed out? You told me they hit you.
No, that was like one of my second fights. That was my most painful one. My first fight was grade 4 or 5. It was the cockest fight on earth, but I won. Nonetheless, I won. That's the thing that I focused on. So we used to be, because we in Marpardai, we were. It was basically afzondering. I'm not sure what the English term even for it is, but we were the Afrikaans side, and we had home language Afrikaans, so there weren't actual home language teachers on the English side. Yeah. So we had a separate classroom and everything on the Afrikaans side. So it was me, my little brother, and then all the younger grades and whatnot. And then Vian and his chommy, DK. They were fighting over a pen or a toy car or something, and then they bring the cup to my classroom.
Yes,
so the guy I beat up was a year older than me, but he was shorter than me. So what happened was, so he was always like, he was giving my brother cock and someone shouting at my brother, and I was like, hey, you don't, just leave my brother alone. Hey, if you wanna have someone cock, help it to me. And then he was like pushing my brother against the wall, and then I was like, I put my arm like in front of Jan's face in case the guy wants to punch him, and I moved him to the side. And right there, I didn't even punch him, man.
You just pushed him?
No, I fucking grabbed him, I launched him over 3 tables. Looking at the table, the classroom was quite in the worst thing is, it was his birthday.
That guy?
It was his birthday that I blocks him. Then he goes into the next classroom, and I'm not even sure what happens, but he's fucking angry, he's crying, whatnot. Teacher comes and I just told him, ma'am.
Yeah, but that guy saw his life past.
And this was and it was Afrikaans, and I was like, juffrou,
you call your parents?
Ek het kak aangevang. And she was like, what do you mean? Because we used to know the teacher, Jan's classroom teacher of that time. My mom was house friends with her, and that teacher was my mom's teacher when she was in primary school as well.
Yes.
So, and anyway, I was like,
she that old, man?
She was old, man. I was like, juffrou, ek het kak aangevang. She's like, what's going on? I'm like, it was a fight. I intervened. I was not going to let the guy beat up my brother. That's my job. It's my job to beat him up. It's not his. So I launched him over the tables. The kid was crying. I'm not even sure if he got hurt or anything.
They involved the parents?
No, I didn't involve the parents. I don't think so.
That's why I like about fighting when we are young.
The teacher just wanted me to apologize to him. I said, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to apologize for something that another light goes out.
No, it's going to come around again.
Eskom. We're relieving load shedding. Yo.
You almost killed that guy, Musman.
Yeah, and then a few years later he got his ass beaten again by a guy.
A different guy.
Yeah, that guy actually more than close to, I don't think it was close to death, but his face was swollen, like fully closed, shut, swollen for like 4 or 5 days. And then after like 3 weeks, only his face started to look normal. They were chowing the same girl, and then that was like, when I saw double black, sir. And it's a white guy, and the white guy was skinny. He looked like a tuckball. Now, you know
that makes him the other guy.
Yo, he pulled him. He was like, we were walking out of school, and I think I bunked school that day or something a bit earlier because I went to the shop. I remember, and I went to buy a dragon and whatnot. Yeah. And then I came back home, and then my brother and those guys come back, and then they're like, "Watch Mukolet, you just missed a fight." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, "Hey, Tom, ga black sir." And I'm like, "What happened?" He's like, "No." The guy, they were walking out, he was holding the hand of that guy's chair, so they were fighting with the girl, and they touched him like this. And then when that guy that I beat up turned around, it was like, hits him flat on his ass. That guy starts begging and crying like, oh, so please put money inside. And I was like, moors him even more.
That's why I never fight, man. Imagine you get into a fight, man, and the guy begs you. At our age, man.
I mean, you think the thing is, white people don't have chill. Black people I've seen, man, it's fine. I've had a fight with a black guy before.
You
But
just like swearing, man.
it's swearing too much, man. And then when I turn back, the guy throws me with a stone. But
I excited you to scare you off, man. Getting into actual fights.
Then I learned, Nyanamao is not a nice word. When I heard that, and I felt that, shit went so fast.
Yes. Yeah, well, you almost died, man.
Yeah, it's fine.
If he hit you,
We'll try again tomorrow.
Where the spinal cord?
Yeah, it was like right here at the back of my head, but I survived. I'm alive to this day. I'm not dead, I guess. I'm dead inside, but physically I'm not dead.
You almost didn't make it to this podcast.
Almost. I almost didn't make it to grade 10.
Yeah, Romana, that's it about fights. Fights. Imagine you fight with a guy, he knocks you out like those guys on Boxing Day. One fist, pa! This other day I was working on the road with my friend. I think we were going out to look for ladies and stuff. So these guys are fighting. There's a taxi standing there. They are fighting behind the taxi, man. That guy is that guy. You see a head and I'm on top of the taxi. And when I went in there like this, that guy hits poo. 2 seconds, there's the head. That guy was sleeping until we passed them. And I was like, you, this guy is
It was gunshot.
Yeah, man. That guy, man, I think he didn't want to pay that guy because this other one was a taxi driver.
Loan shark stuff, man.
And the taxi, you know,
was it the taxi driver that
the taxi driver, man? Because
Empowered.
that guy went off the taxi, man. That guy went that other way, he says, he was trying to leave. Then they needed the taxi. This guy. Gunshot.
and that was the day you learned you always
Here, those guys are bar, man.
It was like it was way back when me and my mom, I was still in primary school. We went to go and buy. We went to Price Master, and then so for reference, Price Master is a small shop, Mokula shop, and then it's a very nice place though. I love it, and I don't really love it more than I do for different reasons, but. Not to get into it, it's for another episode, that one.
Yeah.
So there were these two mamas and they were arguing about, I think it was the last bottle of Andy or fish oil. I'm not even
They
sure.
always fight for small things.
And then they were like, yo. And then I had one word, I don't even remember the word, Blackson or some Kitao Feb or something. I'm not even sure what happened that day.
That's how the best it is.
And those ladies started to blackson each other. You just see, they rub you just see boobs flying. And then I'm like, it's my chance. I stole that last piece of fish oil in front of them. I went to go and pay.
And eventually, this all ladies fighting. It was always those little fights at school, but they never actually fight. You know, all ladies fight. They just grab each other and pull each other's hands.
But that makes me understand. We love for the boobies. Now, you know, boobies are men's life, and now they want to take that away from us. Now, when I'm in school. Because I was prefect most, so I stopped a lot of fights.
Holding boobies?
No, not holding boobies. The guy fights when I
almost wish that was you.
The girl fights, I just stood aside like, Black Sam, Muro! Yeah, I just stood aside for that.
But they are so rare, man. You have to just wait outside.
Yeah, and the hair, the
weed. And if the guy would have stopped a girl's fight, what are you doing, man?
Whenever a guy stops any fight, I'm like, But the fight I had to stop, I think I've stopped like 2 school fights in grand total. The one was my brother. I think I stopped the fight for my brother, but I don't even remember. The other fight was the same guy my brother blacksumed a while back. Anyway, so he loved swearing the other kids because he felt white. He felt he had white privilege, and that doesn't work. It does not exist. I believe to this day. He was swearing them and calling them the K word and whatnot, and that's very upsetting to me. I hate it. It's not right. And then the one kid was like, "Oh, so you say that?
You say that? Come on."
Mona, we're sitting for me and my brother, and we had a small closed group.
Yeah.
He had my brother's a pump in actual fact. He was a pump in school. He had chicks around him, just sitting there like.
I could tell you the red hair.
Just before the red hair, before the passion plum. So, and I look to the side and I see there's this group of kids and I'm like, yo, ek wonder wie word nou gemoer. And then I saw one kid running and it's like, there's a fight and I run around. Was it my duty, you know?
You're still a prefect.
And the prefect, yeah, and the thing is, I had to look after that side. And why should I? Why? I didn't ask for the job. So I ran, I broke up the fight, and when I finally saw who it was, I was like, why did I even stop this fight? So I grabbed the kid by the neck and I grab him into the office and he's swearing, he's everyone there. And I'm like, stop. I'm like, stop met your fucking kak. Los net die story uit. Ga naar die skool hoof toe. Explain yourself. The other kid that beat him up, I did report him once. That kid to this day is a hero in my eyes.
The other one was black, ne?
Of course.
Okay, well. In the schoolyard.
The thing with white people, and I've told this to you before, we tend to, you know, our German heritage, or if
you better say it in the street, not in the schoolyard. In the schoolyard, you're gonna get in trouble.
Not even in trouble when you're gonna get your ass handed to you.
Yes,
That's one of the reasons why my brother. There was this one kid in Senekal, because my brother used to be in school in Senekal, and he kept on bullying the 2 Indian kids, and my brother, fine, don't worry. I'll sort it out for you. My friend, I'll sort it out for you. He grabs the kid, he had a video and everything, and he grabbed the kid by the hair. And the kid looks down, and Vian is like, slaps him to the face, like, look at me. Kid doesn't go. Vian continues on to beat him in the face until he looks at Vian. Vian gives him cock, throws him somewhere, not sure, but yeah, Vian is gevaarlijk dan. Now he's soft, he's old. Since he settled down with the girlfriend, he doesn't want to beat people up anymore.
Not like you 2 years without a woman, man. We have to get you one, man. No, the struggle is real.
International import.
The struggle is real.
So, Gift, I think this is the perfect way to settle off the podcast.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. We hope to see you next week with episode 2.
Very soon.
I'm gonna link all of the social media platforms we're on. It's Instagram, Twitter.
I tried to make a Facebook one.
Yeah, we don't have Facebook. Our thing doesn't have a first name or last name.
Yeah, we have Instagram.
We have Instagram, we have Twitter. Sooner or later I'll set it up on Spotify, which I'll just take over the audio straight forward to that. So for those of you that do have Spotify, you can tune in there. Otherwise, if you use YouTube, we'll appreciate every view, every like, every subscription, whatever. And until the next one.